David Benzel joins me. Fred Krueger on the water. His first jump.
Whoa, and there is some of that famous Fred Krueger spring. Great kick off the top of the ramp. That's what's been missing most of the year for Fred Krueger. It's been a tough season learning some life lessons about competing on the Pro Tour. But there is that vertical lift and the long float. What a great way for Fred Krueger to start off the competition.
Yeah, it's been a very inconsistent season for him so far, but he gets us underway here in Portland, Oregon, in the shadows of Mount Hood. 186 feet to challenge everyone else as we get underway with action. The Café de Colombia Waterski Tour. The 1996 Café de Colombia Waterski Tour. It is an overcast, cool day here in Portland, Oregon for the Budweiser Waterski Championships. I'm Doug Dunbar along with David Benzel. And Dave, as we kind of reminisce really over the last tour stops and the entire season, we go back to the beginning of the season when we talked about the skis, the new wide, long skis. Carl Roberge, of course, on those 84-inch jumpers. We thought that would make a huge difference in the season, but now we're seeing maybe it didn't because distances were really down.
Well, there have been a lot of 200-foot jumps, but they've all been by Carl Roberge, it seems like. And it's been a year of experimentation with many of the skiers experimenting with larger skis, longer, wider, some of them even having to compromise and come back a couple of inches because they went too big. Because of that, the jump distances have been up and down, a great deal of inconsistency. But one person's been consistent, and that's Carl Roberge. Someone would like to spoil his record here today. He's undefeated for the season on the Pro Tour, and maybe it's Bruce Neville, maybe it's John Swanson, but they really would like to take this final stop.
Yeah, you speak of Bruce Neville. He's a guy who's really frustrated because he made the move, and he actually was one of the first to use those big new jumpers, had success outside of the tour, but so far, not a whole lot here.
Well, he's been up and down after breaking the world record. He says it's time to come back and take it away from Carl Roberge. He thinks Carl's confidence is down, and it's time to do it.
Well, the man who could wrap up the first ever undefeated season is yet to jump. We'll get back to the action now. And in a summertime interview in Waterski magazine, Carl Roberge said that he looks at Freddy Krueger and sees himself 3 years ago. That is inconsistency.
And that plagues a skier like this. You know you can go 200, you know you can go far, but you need to be able to do it weekend after weekend, which is what Carl has done, and Fred has not. Look at this, unable to even ride out this jump just because he was back quite far and just gave up the handle.
Not quite sure as to what happened at the end of the jump, but going in, it looked good.
Yeah, everything is fine here. Edging in, trying to keep his shoulders away. This jump looks normal coming off the top.
Yeah, this will be a good view, though. Good vantage point. Maybe we can see what happens.
Well, he's just so,
let go?
Yeah, he's very far back. Maybe even bruised his heels a little bit on the landing and knew it was a shorter jump and just gave up the handle.
Boy, Dave, we both jumped. I've had those bruises, and you walk around, and man, that hurts a couple of days after for sure. Krueger's second jump will be listed officially as a fall, no distance. 186 feet, his best leap here today. The Café de Colombia International Waterski Cup. These are tournaments around the world. Carl Roberge, the clear leader.
Well, as a matter of fact, it goes way back to the March event in Australia, the Mumba Masters, and just recently the Paddy Classic in Ireland.
Now, our 8 stops on the tour, specifically Roberge, again, just booming, over 2,000 points. Neville and Swanson rounds out the top 3. Now, this guy, Bruce Neville, so frustrated with his season.
Yes, but he told me just recently that he's finally happy with his skis. In the last 2 weeks, he has felt at home on these skis. He's starting to jump farther again. It's been a blah season for Bruce. Oh, and he has to pass on this one, releasing the handle, which is clearly an indication that the timing wasn't right. The window of opportunity, he missed it.
Now that is an opportunity by the skier as he makes his way to the ramp. He gets to a decision point to say, am I going to make it? Am I going to be safe, right?
Right, and it could be one of 2 ways. You can be too early for the ramp and decide to pass, or too late and decide to pass.
And the pass, we should mention, does count as a jump.
That's right, and it's a 0.
Yeah, you don't get to go back out and do it again. Bruce Neville takes a pass on that first jump. And interestingly for Bruce, 6 years ago, back injuries, he was kind of in a position where Carl was, where he wasn't skiing a whole lot, wasn't skiing well at that time, and really contemplated hanging him up.
Well, fortunately, he has not, because with the advent of the bigger skis, he broke the world record last fall, then has had a frustrating season here now, but I think his career is long from over.
that the pose?
That's the pose, Carl. It's the pose of maybe an undefeated Carl Roberge here in the Cafe de Colombia Waterski Tour. Bruce Neville will strap him on, jump number 2, hopefully.
Watch for him to start to the ramp a little softer this time. That pass was a result of just cranking the turn too much, starting too hard. There, that is a smoother turn, building the speed more progressively. But sliding on the ramp, you saw him turn and look at the boat driver, a little bit in disgust perhaps, as that jump did not turn out the way he planned. But I do like this turn. Watch how smoothly the skis come around. He gets all the way turned, and then the pull from the boat comes as he has his direction directed across the lake and across the wakes. But now comes off the top of the ramp and gets turned and pulled in. There just wasn't anything there. Again, having timing problems. Bruce, that looked like sort of an all or nothing kind of cut 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I definitely went after it there, but I'll tell you what, my confidence is way down. I just can't see. It's rough, and I'm just worried about crashing, which isn't the right thing to be. You shouldn't be out there if you're worried about crashing. So I'm happy I land on safe, and I'm looking to break the world record in a couple of weeks. So there's a good side, and I'm going to really go hard for that. So that'll be the end of my season for now, anyway.
Well, had you connected on any of those cuts, I think it would have been over 200 feet.
Yeah, if I sprung off the top, it would have been over 200 feet or bust. But, you know, so I know it's going to take 200 to win this event. So, you know, you have to do those kind of cuts. But, you know, it's just either hit or miss. These rolly conditions just make it awkward for the jumper. And you'll see a lot of the jumpers coming in and really bouncing around into the bottom. And some guys get it, some guys don't. And I felt like I got it. Didn't get it on the second one. I got on the third one, but there you go.
Tough way to go, mate. It's the 1996 Cafe de Colombia Waterski Tour, and it is brought to you by Mastercraft Ski Boats, the leader in pulling farther ahead, and by 100% Colombian coffee. Look for this symbol to find the richest coffee in the world. Welcome back to Cafe de Colombia Professional Waterski Tour, the Budweiser Waterski Championships here in Portland, Oregon. Patrick Gaveau has now been anointed the bypass king this season.
Well, he has one other honor. He broke the 200-foot barrier in Ireland at the Paddy Classic. Oh, that looked like an out-of-control jump. He managed to hold all the parts together, but that was scary into the bottom.
And I would venture to guess that he didn't get the spring off the top because the speed over 66 miles an hour.
Well, he's happy to be part of that 200-foot club, but he's going to have to control things a little bit more in here. Watch him come off the top, split, and getting pulled by the boat. And that was a fight to the finish. But he needs to get things pulled together a little bit, get his arms in a little closer and his back a little straighter.
Yeah, we talked to him earlier. He said that he was still getting used to these big, wide, long skis that Carl Roberge has perfected so far this season. And a reminder, Roberge yet to jump, could go undefeated for 1996.
Let's watch him through the wakes. There again, he's getting pulled up at the wakes. Skis very far apart as he went through the wakes, and he's angry, very angry about this.
We've seen this before from Patrick Gaveau. Frustrating, but he's giving it his all, and when you're putting that much effort, it's going to be an all or nothing decision.
Let's watch his skis right at the wakes here. They need to stay down and on edge. See how he got pulled up? His shoulders got pulled up and toward the ramp, and probably felt he was too late to take that jump and had to pass. So another missed opportunity for Patrick Gaveau.
Gaveau makes his way to shore. Little gift for those on shore here in Portland, Oregon. Takes the pass in the second jump, but of course his jump of 170 feet will stand as far as competition is concerned. Carl Roberge setting this mark, the Cafe de Colombia Tour record, 210 feet, High Point, North Carolina is where it took place, and a few people have gotten somewhat near that buoy, but haven't surpassed it yet. Scott Smith on the water for his first effort.
We saw Scott for the first time this season, I think it was Shreveport, and we commented on how he was not ready to be jumping this hard. His back was down, he was having a lot of trouble. He's a bit stronger, oh, look at this. Losing the ski on the landing and doing a little bailout.
Hopefully he didn't hurt his knee at all. We saw at the top of the ramp the very same Patrick Gaveau spread eagle, if you will.
Scott getting his head up and his back a little straighter, although he has a little bit more of a hunched over style. And you could see how squatted he was at the top of the ramp. Legs way up, his knees somewhere near his ears. And then as he landed, the one ski pulled off. And the way these guys wear their bindings so tight for control, when a ski gets sucked off like that and pulled off, it does usually spin you around.
Yeah. It'll be no credit on this landing, and the reason why, obviously, he doesn't ski away from it.
Whoa, the skis actually crossed. The right ski crossed under the left one, and that can be knee damaging.
Listed as a fall for jump number 1. Scott Smith will strap him back on and give it another shot. You know, about 3.5, 4 hours away from here as Scott gets on the back of the Mastercraft and tries to put everything back together. Seattle, Washington, just up the way on your way to Canada here from Portland, Oregon. And actually, in those cool waters is where this man trains, John Swanson, almost in his backyard. So far, Freddy Krueger leads all jumpers, 186 feet, the mark to beat for now. Again, Carl Roberge, we talked so much about this possible undefeated season. We'll wait to see him jump a little later in the show. Now Scott Smith, number 2.
Well, he'll make some adjustments here. Timing adjustments, getting his body upright into the base, and there's some lift. Much more lift that time on the balls of his feet so he could push vertically and get some of that vertical extension that really does create distance. Speed alone does not do it. I like Scott's turn this time. He got his skis around before the pull came on. And you could see how the boat pulled him through the air off the top of the ramp. Much better jump for Scott Smith, an engineering student.
Well, easy math will tell you, this puts him in second place. Scott Smith right behind Freddy Krueger, just about 3 feet. 100 Columbia Waterski Tour, Doug Dunbar, Dave Benzel, Carl Roberge. He has won all 7 individual events of the tour this year. Today could be his undefeated crowning.
Well, John Swanson won the final stop on the tour last year in '95, and I know that this would be the outcome he would like to see for himself here, for him to be the spoiler. Well, nice lift, typical John Swanson, vertical lift with a very conservative cut. Doug, he started soft. He wasn't even all that wide. He let himself drift back and put his second hand on the handle very early here. But I know that he's trying to build progressive speed because he knows that if he gets his kick, he can go a long way.
Yeah, speed-wise, we saw just over, I think, 60.2, 60.3. We want to be, for Swanson, 62, 2.5.
Yeah, he's got to get up in somewhere between 60 and 65.
182 feet. There's a lot of jockeying going on at the top. That'll put him in third place for right now.
He's going to cut later on this one. He is much wider, much later. Oh, this is a beautiful jump.
There's the speed you talked about, Dave.
Yes, and I'll tell you where this came from. Not only did he get wider and cut later, but watch him go through the wakes and beyond. His body does not move. His upper body stays locked in and still. We saw some of the other skiers get bouncing around. His upper body is absolutely rock solid here, and there's the extension off the top, a result of getting through the wake so well.
If you've got your VCRs going at home, you just saw some perfect technique.
Yeah, that was very nice. Now remember, he's also trying to get the number 2 spot for the season. That's up for grabs for John. Oh, 194.
He is your new leader. He takes it from Freddy Krueger. John Swanson. What a leap for him here in Portland, Oregon. Fans have been loving it. Here's how we stand right now. Krueger bumps down to second. Scott Smith, a name we don't see too often, in third.
John, I could tell by the look on your face that 194 really felt good. You were so solid through the wakes.
Yeah, I mean, that was big. That's one of the biggest jumps I've ever had. I mean, it's because it's calmer, it's bumpier. You can feel it more, and I was late, and I almost passed, and I thought, no, I ain't letting this go. And then to kick it like that, I was square. I mean, it's going to be close. I know it's going to be close.
Well, of course, you won the final stop on the tour last year in Seattle. It would be nice to repeat, and there's 2 guys left to come up that can make it or break it for you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Carl had a little problems last weekend in Ireland. He's back on form yesterday. Scott's jumping better every weekend. I hope it's enough.
2 years ago, Carl Roberge was on the verge of retiring. Today, he could go undefeated. The Budweiser Waterski Championships. Doug Dunbar along with Dave Benzel. We've seen the new trends. John Swanson taking those big, long jumpers to new heights. But Dave Benzel has some information on a new trend in slalom skiing.
Remember when you used to grab your 66-inch slalom ski and run down to the lake for a half hour cutting it up on that glass smooth water? but you used to have to go 34 to 36 miles an hour to really enjoy the ride. Well, today manufacturers are going to help you out by going toward a whole set of oversized skis to make it easier and allow you to stay out there longer for less energy. This particular ski is called the Wide Ride, and it's the answer to the oversized tennis racket or the oversized golf club. This ski by HO has beveled edges for high performance turning. It has the tunnel concave bottom, and at the bottom of the ski here you'll even find it still has the tournament fin and wing. So that means that this ski has 35% more effective surface area and allows you to ski at much slower speeds, stay out there longer, and learn a lot quicker too. This may be the answer to helping you have a great weekend of skiing and go home without feeling like you were run over by a truck.
Run over by a truck?
Well, that's how I used to feel
felt
sometimes.
that bad?
You bet.
My goodness. Hey, Carl Roberge, we've been waiting for him all day. He's on the water, but for one of the first times, he's not our last jumper.
No, but he is going to attack this course. He will not hold back. John Swanson is sitting there wondering what's going to happen. And look at Carl Roberge. I hate to say it, but he connects on jump number 1.
And I got to tell you, the crowd really has the best vantage point, and if they're cheering that loud.
See, Carl has learned not to back off. He came right out and attacked the ramp. His skis are turned, his direction is good. Watch this lift off the top. Boom, big one. I have a sinking feeling for John Swanson right now, and I haven't even heard the distance yet. This guy has been amazing this year.
Getting the score here, 196 feet.
There it is.
Carl Roberge has outdistanced John Swanson by 24 inches, but actually John has not gotten word yet.
Scot Ellis still to ski. The distance, 196.
And that's a heartbreak for this young man who has fought so hard through the last half of the season to catch Carl Roberge.
The biggest jumper on the market.
A dejected John Swanson will make his way and pack his gear bag. Carl Roberge will take another leap, and one might say he needs it because he is not our final competitor today.
Well, bringing it down the lake, he's even later on this one, very late. He is so strong, he still got on the ramp safely, but was not able to get the lift. That's a shorter jump. Now this is what happens. This is a good example of what happens when you push the limit a little too much. Go a little too late. He hangs on to it, but he's on his heels at the base of the ramp. Lots of speed, no lift. Boy, the mixture, like a recipe, has to be exactly right.
Fabulous. The first jump was definitely better. 176 on the second, so 196 the jump to beat for Scot Ellis. Carl Roberge, always a crowd favorite. He leads them now. Freddy Krueger bumps down to third. Let's go down dockside. Dave Benzel is with our current leader.
Carl, before you went out on the water, you told me there's a lot of pressure riding on you today because of the streak that you've got of being undefeated.
It sure is. You know, all I could say to myself is get it over on the first one, make the first one count. The water seemed to be the calmest on the first one, so I figured I had to do it there. And I got a hold of it. I was happy with the distance. I just hope it holds up. Scott's been jumping good. He nipped me yesterday, and I hope I can stay up.
Well, it's unusual for you to not be out last, so now you've got to stand by and watch Scot Ellis to see if he can pull this one out.
Yeah, it's different. You can't experience the thrill of victory when there's one guy left.
All right, thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Scot Ellis has battled back from a hip injury. He needs the tape for support. Will he play spoiler to Carl Roberge's perfect season? Waterski Tour is brought to you by Sea-Doo, the best-selling boat in the world. Also by Mastercraft Ski Boats, the leader and pulling farther ahead. Speak of leaders here at the Budweiser Waterski Championship in Portland, Oregon. You certainly speak of Carl Roberge right now. And for the first time, I cannot believe that he would not be nervous at this point, knowing Scot Ellis holds the future of an undefeated season.
Well, and Scot Ellis is in an unusual position, jumped so well in the preliminary round to have the top-seeded position here in the finals. So Carl has to stand by and watch this young man, see if he will spoil the day or not. Oh, and there's that lift that Scot Ellis is famous for. Not the speed that the Carl Roberge cut had, but Scot Ellis has a strategy a little different than Carl Roberge. because of the injury, he has a pinched nerve in his right foot. He has lost much of the feeling in his right foot, and he is having to jump conservatively. He cannot afford a crash. The doctor said he would never jump again, and yet he has gotten most of the feeling back, and he puts together jumps like this. He had a 191 yesterday.
Scotty Ellis, jump number 1, 184 feet, well short of Carl Roberge's mark.
He needs more speed, and that's the tough thing for him right now. He's got to bring it down. Psychologically, that's difficult for him. Oh, maybe a little more speed, but not the lift. You can see the legs partially extended, but not totally.
Yeah, one without the other in reverse order on this jump now.
That's right. Boy, I know he's happy just to be here in the top-seeded position, but this is asking a lot. Can he go 197 on this one? The skis split a little bit. He lost some of that vertical lift. He is still a very pretty jumper. He's got a bright future ahead of him if he can just keep rebuilding that leg.
184 in the first one. Scotty Ellis, second jump, 186. You know what that means.
Carl has done it, Doug. He has done the impossible, the unlikely. No one thought this would be done here with this kind of field of competition.
Kudos from everyone here in Portland, Oregon. Carl Roberge, the 196 holds. Swanson, Ellis, Krueger, and Smith are top 5 for the Cafe de Colombia Waterski Tour final stop. And as expected, the Cafe de Colombia International Waterski Cup, Carl Roberge running away with it without question.
And Doug, no one would have predicted at the beginning of the season that one man could win all the stops. And I doubt if anyone else will do it soon.
And when we narrow our focus to all the stops on the tour for Cafe de Colombia, Carl Roberge again the clear winner. But interestingly, John Swanson, second place, Neville Krueger, Wild out of Germany, rounding out the top 5. Dave Benzel is now with the tour winner.
Carl, congratulations on a spectacular year, something that no one else has ever done before, win every stop on the Pro Tour.
I can't believe it, Dave. I just feel blessed. Coming into the last event, all the pressure is on. John put out a long jump, and I'm telling you, you can't explain how exciting it is for me to do that. I mean, the guys are tough. There's some long distance this year, and just happy to be here.
You know, we think of this as an individual sport, and yet you and your skis have made kind of an interesting team here, because I know that while many skiers have experimented with a lot of skis, you're on the same skis you started on way back in the spring.
Yeah, I got on a good pair. I mean, I got on the first tour stop in Orlando and won by a large margin. I said, these are it. You know, something's working right, and I just stuck with them. And, you know, the guys at KD hung there with me and kept building me skis to try and make them better and better, but the first ones were it.
Congratulations again, Carl.
Thanks, Dave.
Carl Roberge coming up shortly.
Carl Roberge, always a class act.
That driver's hand. Ian, you're my man.
Taking time to thank everybody who's made this unbelievable season possible. For David Benzel, I'm Doug Dunbar. 1997 will be a great year. For now, the no wake zone signs are officially up.
Craig.